It's a blessing to welcome on former Pitt star and now the newest member of Indiana, Xavier Johnson. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Absolutely. I know you just got on campus, so kind of take us through how you're feeling, what's like being out there.
That's cool. I just got here at like 8, so I really haven't gotten to do anything but see my room. So,
Absolutely. Well, kind of take us through this because we know you're not heading out to Indiana. It's gonna be a new start, a new rebuild under Coach Woodson, but take us through how you're feeling to get out there and really start recreating some new legacy and get Indiana back where it's supposed to be.
uh, I mean, it was a long process.
Mhm.
I just knew this was a place for me with Coach King on the coaching staff. I had a lot of trust in him. I thought it was going to be a pretty good team, and it is. We are going to be a pretty good team in our conference, and we're only going to get better and when the guys get here. So,
Absolutely. Well, let's kind of head back. So, Hoosier fans get to know you a little better. Obviously, grew up there out in Virginia. Take us through what it was like growing up out there.
uh, I mean, for me, I moved probably up north, like towards the DC area,
Mhm.
like my sophomore year of high school, and my freshman year, I actually played JV for Bishop O'Connell. In my sophomore year, at the beginning of my sophomore year, my coach told me that I wasn't gonna make varsity, and that put a little chip on my shoulder to make varsity next year, and I ended up making varsity. Ended up starting two games. Didn't really play that much, but it was just the beginning of where I saw my potential. And after that, junior year, senior year, I just got better and better.
Well, take us to the, like you said, you went to a school that in Bishop O'Connell, which obviously is a pretty well-known school. A lot of high-level Division One guys come from there. So what really went into that though? Like when you first went out there your freshman year, like what was that decision and why did you want to go to a program that's that elite?
I was getting recruited by two schools, Bishop O'Connell and St. Vincent Pallotti. I chose O'Connell because I saw they had Kendall Marshall went there,
Mhm.
Romello Trimble went to Maryland. For what made my decision was probably Mello, to be honest. I saw that how he ran offense and how he just got better over the years, and how he was McDonald's All American and went to Maryland and was highly recruited. So that was one of the biggest decisions to go there.
So someone had told you heading into your freshman season that you're going to become a guy that's going to eventually become a Division One prospect. You're going to be able to choose from a whole bunch of high-level Division One schools. Could you have seen that in your future?
I saw it in my future, but other coaches really didn't. I had a coach tell me that I wasn't going to go to the ACC, but I ended up going to the ACC, playing on an ACC team. So, I've always been doubted. So, it's not new.
So when did you feel that you were a high level player? Like when did you start feeling that, I really do believe I can play at Division One level down the road?
It was for my junior year, and it was a summer. We were at 16 U Peace Jam, and we was playing, and I had a good Peace Jam experience as a 16-year-old on the circuit. So at that time, that's when the school started really calling me. I think NC State, Providence, Nebraska, and those schools and so on. And the list only grew longer and longer as began my senior year.
Like you said, you get cut your sophomore season, you're not gonna make the varsity team. Ultimately, then as we know, you end up coming out your junior year, a big time season, you're on varsity. But what kind of changed your mindset? Like you said, you kind of flipped then, you started really locking in. But what exactly did you do? Like, how did you go from being a guy that didn't make varsity to then becoming one of the leaders of a team just 1 year span?
Honestly, after my coach told me, he sat down with me, told me I wasn't gonna make varsity.
Mhm.
I ended up going to the gym 8 hours a day during that summer with my dad, and just started working and really working on my game, all aspects of my game, strength, and just shooting the ball. I really got to work on that still, but
Mhm.
uh, that's where it all began.
So would you have seen prior to like right when coach told you then that you're not going to make the team, like did you really start to get down on yourself at all, or what was going through your mind when he told you that?
It was just really like I think he don't know what he's talking about, and
Hmm.
it was just nobody gonna tell me if I'm gonna make something happen. And I really actually made it happen. So that was a good thing about it.
So let's head into that junior season then. Like I said, it really was your breakout year. You had averaged 10 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. You guys go 20 and 11 as a team. Kind of take us to that junior year a little bit.
Yeah, high school. I mean, it was cool. I had great teammates. Jay Heath that went. He goes to Arizona State right now. That went to Boston College. Matt Lewis, CAA Player of the Year at JMU. Nate Watson. I forgot what he did, but he's doing pretty good in the Big East. And we had a really good team. A couple of shooters. I mean, I just really played point guard role on that team. That's when I actually began to play point guard, and it was a cool year. It was good experience. Best game was obviously my breakout game against we played Chris Likes. I had 32 and he had 25. So I mean that was my best game that year. So yeah, there's nothing really else about that year.
Now you were playing in an area, like you said, the DMV area. Obviously, you guys have a ton of talent. It's one, if not the best area of basketball. The names go on and on listed players that's played from the area before. So what was like growing up in that atmosphere? Like you see all these top level guys you're going up against day in, day out. What was that like?
I mean, it was just dogs versus dogs, to be honest. Everybody wants to be at the top in the area. So I mean, once you competed and step on the floor, you compete. It's not really no number being called, no ranking involved. It's just all right. If he got a ranking, you playing him, and you got to beat him at the spot still. So I mean, that's what's the good thing about being from my area.
Who was that guy? Like, was there even maybe one guy specifically or a couple guys that you always wanted to go up against? Like, maybe not even rivals, but just guys that you really wanted to go compete against day in, day out, and you were excited to play them when you saw them on your schedule?
In high school, probably it was Chris Lights, Aaron Thompson. Who's at the math? Math guard. The math is always a good team, so we always want to go against them. They always have pretty good players, always. It was just always those type of teams. The Gonzagas, the Mathas, PVI. I always wanted to play against them because they always had pretty much the highest ranking players.
If you're looking at guys that played high school during your time span out there, so like that 4 or 5 year gap kind of time span, who would you make as the dream team? Like, who's your starting point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center for the best guys from the DMV area during that time?
I'm gonna get a whole lot of DMs. I mean, I'm putting myself at point guard, of course. I'm putting Markelle Fultz at the 2. At the 3, James Palmer. It was really tough. At the 4, who at the 4? I don't even know. Probably Corey Manigault at the 4. He went to PBI. And at the 5 would be Hunter Dickinson.
And how about off the bench? If you got like 4 or 5 guys come off that bench, you put in there.
Chris coming off the bench. Anthony Cowan, Romello Trimble. I need a big.
You guys had Luka Garza, right?
Yeah, nah. He's in the area, but he didn't play in like the league. So
gotcha. Yeah.
If I wanted to, I'll throw him in there. Because that's pretty much the same. I'll throw Luka in there.
For sure. So let's head into that senior year then. That really was your breakout season. You guys go 39 as a team. You go out there and start averaging 18 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. You win Conference Player of the Year. Kind of just take us through that season. Like, what led to that breakout then?
Honestly, Peace Jam. When we went to the championship when I played 17, we take over. After the game, like literally after we lost, my coach, Doug Martin, he coaches 16s for takeover. He was my coach for 16 as well. So he after the game, literally after we lost, he said, "You about to get Player of the Year." He said, "I know you ready to play your teammates now." And it was just, I really didn't take it through at the time, and I was like, "You telling me I'm about to get Player of the Year?" But I mean, I just worked hard for it. I had a lot of people vouching for me for that year, and I just had a lot of confidence going into that year.
This was your leader kind of season because the year prior you had, like you said, a guy like Jay, you had a guy like Nate Watson. This was really your team completely. Like this was all in your hands. You were the vocal point of everything that year. So how'd you become that? Like how'd you all of a sudden separate from now really leading a team as opposed to just being another great player?
I mean, it was hard. I mean, I'm not really a vocal player because my senior year I played the two, but I was actually one of the leaders, the only one out of two of the seniors on the team. My boy Matt Beck, he was really the vocal leader. I was really just the leader by example.
If we go back to that junior year real quick, like you're playing with guys like Jay, you're playing with a guy like Nate, who both have already been great college players. What was like playing with those guys that year?
I mean, it was fun. We had a lot of talent. We were trying to realize how much talent we had, and I mean, we just trying to learn how to play together. And I mean, we really started playing playing better towards the end of the year, but we couldn't just pull through. And I think we lost to. I forgot who we lost to though.
Mm-hmm. Now, you also were a player that you were kind of ranked. I mean, you're still in the top 250. You still were a three-star, but obviously that's not where you want to be. And clearly, the way you played so far in college, you were much higher than that too. But was that ever like a chip on your shoulder? Like, how did you personally handle seeing rankings where you weren't in the top 100? Like, how did you personally handle that?
I mean, I just try to stay away from it. To be honest, I really didn't care about it. Care too much about it. Just stay in the gym and work. I mean, if you work, the results gonna show. So that's the thing about me.
Let's go through that recruiting process. You originally committed to Nebraska. Obviously, we know you flip it around, you go to Pitt eventually. But what went in that first decision? Like, why was Nebraska the first school you wanted to attend?
Uh, I mean, it was just obvious. It was for me at the time. Cause I built a good relationship with Coach Miles, Coach Tim Miles, and Coach Hunter, but just things happened over the time, and I made a business decision when Coach Hunter left, and I was evaluating if Coach Tim Miles was going to keep his job or not, and that was the biggest thing why I decommitted from them.
So then you come back and you have a lot of offers come in the mix, and you ultimately choose Pitt. But take us to like that final group. Like, who was your number two option? Like, if Pitt wasn't in the picture for you, where else would you have seen yourself going?
Um, what did I have? It was either, I think I was down to South Carolina. I really didn't have that many schools after I decommitted. I was surprised, but it was South Carolina, Pitt, and I can't remember. I just remember those two, South Carolina and Pitt.
Mm-hmm. And so what led you to Pitt? Like, how did Coach Capel win you over?
I mean, just the overall come in and play point guard, be the leader of the team, and just honestly, he told me I was gonna start. He needed to start a point guard, and I said, I mean, I'll step up to the plate. I mean, there's no harm being done. I mean, I just took the best advantage of it and really excelled at it.
So when you came in there, obviously you have a phenomenal freshman season. You make the all ACC freshman team. You go and put together not only just great overall freshman numbers, but like you're competing with some of the overall guys that are sophomores, juniors, and seniors that year. It's like, how were you able to walk into college and be that comfortable and really dominate at the level you did?
I mean, it was really just the league I played in high school, WCAC. I think it's the best conference, high school basketball conference in America. It's still to this day. You play against a lot of guys. It's the shot clock involved. You play with a shot clock. I mean, it was just overall. I think that really just helped me get prepared for the next level because I really just was already comfortable playing against competition.
That's something key. Like I'm a big advocate of guys traveling to play in different areas. I think if you're in a certain areas of Texas, certain areas of obviously that conference you were in, a couple different areas like New York and California, like those are pretty solid places. But overall, like a lot of guys have been taking the prep route now. We know schools like Montverde, IMG, Compass. Like, but how big is it if you want to be a Division I prospect, a Division I player that plays at a high level? How important is it for you to push yourself and play in an area that's really challenging with a lot of top level players?
I mean, it's very important. You got to work too at the same time. It's like being in those areas. You want to beat out the top dog, and you want to be the top dog as well. So I mean, that all also see you can also evaluate yourself and see where you're also at by playing against those type of players.
So heading into that freshman year again, you guys overall struggled overall as a team, 14 and 19. Like I said, you start off the season hot, 18 straight games with 10 or more points. Walk us to that first 18 games. Like, how were you able to not really have any freshman slumps at the first 18 games?
Those first 18 games, I was nervous. Honestly, after the first game, I was really nervous. Playing in a big crowd setting, and it was just different. But at the same time, I was playing something I loved and something I worked hard at. So, those first 18 games, I had a lot of confidence. My body was 100% at the time, and it was just different. I had a whole different mindset heading into my freshman year. It was like I had no expectations. Nobody knew who I was, so it was just me playing, me just going out there and playing.
You guys had a pretty solid recruiting class. Two of the biggest guys that have panned out to be great college players so far, one of which is Trey. What was it like playing alongside him, and how did you guys bond grow that year?
Me and Trey to this day are best friends. We call each other almost every day. Our relationship is beyond basketball. Trey is always a good teammate to me, and I'm always a good teammate to him. And he's just really my best friend. So I really can't say much.
The other guys at East, obviously now we're playing a huge piece at Arkansas this upcoming year. What was it like playing alongside him? Like you guys have grown a bond now for 3 years. What was it like playing with him for that long?
He was my best friend too. It was me, him, and Deese. So me, Trey, and Deese, all three, you never could catch us not together. So, and Deese was the funniest one out of all. I love all of them. I wish him the best, and I know he's gonna do well there. Deese is what he does. Deese will lock anybody up. He's not scared of anybody. He fear none, and I know he's gonna do well. So, I can't say much on Deese.
Did you guys know each other prior to going there? Or did you guys all get to know each other and form that bond once you guys got to campus?
We got to know each other. It was after Peach Jam, and it was Victor Oladipo camp, and that's when we all played against each other. But it was me and Trey on the same team, and Decent on a different team. And I think we played them one of the games, and we was all in the same room. We was all talking about going to the same school. It was kind of weird, and we all ended up at the same school. So.
Absolutely. Well, then you head into that sophomore season and you kind of have a little bit of a dip down in your numbers, but as the team is near 500, 16, 17 that year. What was that sophomore year like for you?
It was hard. But it was something new. We had a good team coming in. We had a talented, what it would seem like, more talented team than our freshman year. And it was just me being more of a point guard. And so I was trying to dish more than I scored that year, and I also the scouting report really grew on me from what I did my freshman year. But that team, and that's when I also began to have problems in my body. So, it wasn't really much. It was a lot I learned my sophomore year. It was a lot.
Walk us through that because obviously anyone that has injuries gets beat up over time. It's not easy, but take us through how you handle that because you still go out there and you still are performing at a high clip, not only that season, but the past year too. How have you learned to still play through different things going on with you?
I had like small injuries, but one of them is kind of big to me because it's my feet. I had plantar fasciitis my sophomore year, and I had to go through a lot of treatment for that. My junior year, I had it in my right foot. My sophomore year, I had it in my left foot. My junior year, I had it in my right foot. I had plantar fasciitis again in my right foot. So hopefully next season I won't have anything. My body's 100%. So it's a lot of treatment I did during the off season for him. I really didn't expect it, but it really hurt though. It really hurt.
And here's a unique thing about you, which is why I think you're gonna has immense potential to play obviously a huge role next year, but even in the future as a professional player, possibly even in the NBA. And that's because you sacrifice your body in the court. You've drawn over 50 offensive fouls now throughout your career. You've had 24 own season. What's led you to that mindset where you're able to go out there and draw offensive fouls?
I'm pretty fast. I'll beat people to the spot. My defense is really, I would say, underrated. Nobody really sees my defense, but I really move my feet a lot. I like to stay in front of my defender. I reach here and there, but I also like to take a lot of charges, especially on the fast break.
So was that kind of ingrained into you at a young age, or is that something that you developed over time?
It was something that my high school coach, Coach Joe, he instilled in me. He loved charges, and I actually learned it from Duke. At Duke camp, I went to Duke camp, and that's when they was giving out prizes for whoever take the most charges, and that's when I learned how to really take a charge.
Now that sophomore season, you guys added a very special freshman who's now going to be heading to the NBA draft, and he's a special player, and that's Justin. How big was his addition to the team line that sophomore year, and just also what was it like playing with him for 2 years?
He really grew. Freshman to sophomore year, he really grew. He took his play style to a different level, and that was a good thing for us. That really helped me a lot. Helped me a lot from getting the pressure from the ball off my hands. He really took over.
Now, obviously, he's going to be going through this draft process. So, what could you tell people? Like, what will the team be landing in him if they draft him?
They're getting a hard worker. It's not scaring anybody that has a lot of confidence, and that's gonna be ready to play.
Let's go into this past season then, and that was a season that was chaotic for everyone. Obviously, COVID complications came in. You guys had ups and downs as a team. But kind of walk us through the overall gist of your junior year.
It was hard. I would say it was just difficult with no fans, and really just was playing pickup, and it was just hard going to the game. And some games would get canceled right the day before, or we'll get ready to leave to go away, and the game get canceled. So it was hard when to know you're going to play, and when you're going to how to know how to lock in when a game doesn't get canceled, when a game does get canceled. So that was really the difficult thing about it.
Now, you personally eclipsed the 1,000 point margin, and you also got back up on stats. You had 14 points a game, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. Like, you were playing on a high clip this past year. So, how did you manage to do that? Like you said, there's ups and downs. You don't know how to prepare if there's a game or not. How are you still able to go out there and play at this higher level every game?
Just honestly, it was just playing. I love the game of basketball. I'm passionate for it, so it's just me going out there just play. I always tell myself just play. There's nothing I'd rather do than play basketball, and it's nothing I want to do. So, it just built in me.
One game specifically for you, you had 32 points against Virginia Tech. Take us that night.
Nobody knows this, but I actually got kicked out of practice the day before that game, and it was over something that was something small, but got kicked out of practice. Then ended up starting. I was kind of into myself a little bit, and I just told myself to just play at that point. Come off the bench, help my team do anything to win. And from that night, they needed me to score the ball. People were having an off night, and I just took over. And it was just I was just locked in. That's when I'm locked in, and on those type of nights.
So, is that the hottest you've been? I know you've had a couple of 30-point games before in college, but was that the hottest you've been in your college career?
Yeah, I believe so. That was the hottest. I was against West Virginia before I got hurt in that game. I was kind of getting off on them too, but I got hurt in the middle of the game, so that really slowed me down. But I would say that was my hottest game.
So you come off that bench, like you said, you obviously got kicked out of practice. It probably obviously wasn't the best between you and coach for a little bit there. Like, what allowed you to go into a game and dominate like that, where things were a little uneven with everything else going on?
I feel like I owed them a lot. I owed them that game, and I think we were on a losing streak at that point. I think we just lost to Notre Dame, and everybody was feeling down. Even myself. The next game I came out, and I wanted to just prove. The last game was a fluke, and it won't happen again. And that's what we did that night.
Now, there's a couple other freshmen that walked in on that team. You guys obviously had Will, who came in reclass. You guys had Noah and John, who battled his things. He's going to be back now, though. But how big are those freshmen, and what can Pitt fans expect from them now in their sophomore seasons?
They'll bring joy, of course. They're all good kids. They all work hard. I talked to John and a couple of them on every blue moon, and I just told them, just stay in the gym and win. You gotta know how to win there. You gotta win for those fans, because those fans are actually difficult. So I just told them just put your head down and grind. And y'all gonna be where y'all want to be.
Now we know that obviously a lot of the team took different routes, and a lot of you guys obviously transferred out. But kind of walk us through this, like what led to you personally want to move on and put your name in the portal?
I just came out of disagreement, and we both actually just agreed on it. It's best my decision to leave, and I really can't go into detail about it, but I just chose to leave.
So going to the portal, I know you had a lot of options, and as we know, you're heading to Indiana now. But take us through this process, like just being in this portal. We know how hectic it is this year. The amount of names in there, you got in and out pretty quickly though. But kind of take us through your kind of experience in the transfer portal and what that was like.
I mean, it was cool. It was just a lot of teams. It just got hectic, and I just summed the teams down at the end at the end of the tournament because I didn't want to get more teams heading on at the end of the tournament hit me up because of players leaves, and I feel like they didn't have their best interest in me as a player. So I just felt that it was best for me to commit right after the tournament, and that which I did, and I chose Indiana, and I believe it was the best fit for me.
So when you're going down this process and you also choose Indiana, who else was in the heavy mix? Like, did you have a number 2 option this time around? Like, was there that number 2 favorite school for you?
I mean, I had a couple favorite schools. It was my last 4 was Baylor, St. Joe's, in Houston. I love the Houston coach. I love him. He was a good coach. He seemed like he'll help me out. Coach Billy Lang at St. Joe's, he was a down to earth dude. I had a real conversation with him, and I really loved him. So, and coach and Baylor, their whole coaching staff was all dialed in me. Even during the tournament, they was giving me phone calls, and I was the only person getting called during that time from them, going on Zooms and that such during the tournament and they won a championship at that time. So, I mean, that was a good thing about them. So, I mean, I would think my number 2 would have been Baylor, honestly.
That had to be pretty difficult because Indiana's obviously where you chose, but to be able to choose Indiana over 2 teams that were Final Four appearances, one that obviously won the championship in Baylor, like how good was Indiana's pitch to you? Like how did they ultimately win you over from all that other stuff that was appealing to you?
I mean, I just felt like I could make the biggest impact here. What I was with playing with Trayce, coach bringing in a couple guys, Miller, Michael, even Parker coming to play this year. Even the guys coming back, Rob, KL, and a couple other guys. I just felt like my game would best fit in with them, and I really could help them a lot in certain cases.
So we look at the big picture here, and this is this program that obviously isn't regarded by a lot of people as a blue blood because of recent times, but historically they're one of the best up there. Obviously, they've had an incredible history, a great fan base. They just haven't been the best over the past few years now. So what will it take for you guys? All you guys come into this program, a top-ranked recruit, and Tamar is also coming in. Like, how do you guys get this team back up on top? And what's the ultimate goals for you? You have max of 2 years, possibly just 1 year. Like, what do you want to be able to accomplish throughout your time here?
I want to win. Honestly, I want to get to the tournament, and I want to win the Big Ten my first year here. I know that's a lot. That's a big thing to say, but I think we got the team to do it.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, you guys have a lot of moving pieces, as you mentioned. A lot of transfers coming in, adding in guys like Tamar and Logan, who's big time recruits coming in. How do you guys plan to mesh? I know you just got on campus, but how do you guys all plan to mesh to get together and ultimately produce at a high level when you guys get out there in the beginning of the season?
I mean, I feel like we all locked in. I told Tamar as soon as he committed, we locked in and he was on the same page. So I just know this year gonna be a good year.
So you got to bring us through Coach Woodson. Obviously, he's a former NBA coach. He should have more opportunities at that level too. So Indiana's really getting an NBA-proven head coach. They're getting guys done great things, even at a level of historic team like New York Knicks. So how special is Coach Woodson? Like, what do you like about him so far?
I mean, he the GOAT. I mean, ain't nothing else to say, and he the OG. So, I mean, I like Coach Woodson. He's a real down-to-earth guy. I saw that when I actually talked to him on a Zoom call, and my dad was asking him heavy questions, and he answered them with I could tell he's answering them with 100% truthfulness. There was nothing to say. I was to say about Coach Woodson.
So why should Hoosier fans be bought in and excited for Coach Woodson? Like, why should they believe this is the coach that's going to get them back on top?
I mean, he did it. Honestly, he played for him back in the day. He did a great job, and I just think now with where he's been at and who he's coached, I think he's gonna know what to do.
So now this is a different conference. This is the Big Ten. So how excited you to be a part of that conference now?
I'm very excited. Honestly, I honestly play good against Big Ten teams. So, I mean, it would be good playing against them on a daily basis.
So if you look back at the ACC, who was your favorite matchup there? Like, was there one guard specifically that you loved going up against in the ACC?
I mean, the one guard. I mean, I like playing Louisville. I love playing Louisville, especially when they were number one. Their guard. I like playing against the guard, Khalid Jones. He's a real slow pace guard. Gets to where he wants. I really like playing against him.
So what do you bring out there in Indiana now? You personally, obviously, you have a lot of traits that's obviously led you to become a top guy in the past conference. But what do you bring into Indiana now?
I bring a lot of hunger, underdog, just to get it done type of guy. That's what I want to be known as here. Do anything for the team to win. And I want to be one of the main pieces why we put Indiana back on the map. So that's the main reason why I'm here.
Now, as for your number, I know you also had number 0 on your commitment post. Also, I know you wore number 1 during your Pitt time. So what number you be rocking out with at Indiana, and why is it the number you chose?
0. I'm rocking with 0. I mean, I chose that number because one is my senior year coming up. I got 2 years eligibility left, obviously, but I'm still counting as my senior because I played 3 years before. But my senior year also, I switched to 0, and that's when I was player of the year, and I had a breakout year. So I just think that this is the year to go back number 0, and I just feel like we're gonna have a great year.
Now, as you mentioned, you do have the option of going back for another year after the season if you want to become a super senior. Is that something that will be on the table? Like, if you obviously have an NBA opportunity or something, I'm sure you're going to look into that heavily. But is coming back for possibly another year after this year something that you would consider?
It was something that I have to really dial in and look into after this year, because I want to see how good I play this year and evaluate what I've done this year, and if I got to come back, I got to come back. It is what it is, but I mean it's an extra year, so it won't hurt.
Absolutely, man. Well, a few more things before I let you go. One of which is discussing your family. You have a rich history in basketball. Your dad played collegiately. Obviously, your godbrother's Marcus George's Hunt. Your cousin played at Indiana. Your other cousin played at Valparaiso. Like, you've played and have family background all over this game. So what's it like been like growing up in that? Like, having basketball really in your bloodline around you all the time. What's it been like growing up in that?
I mean, it was cool. Honestly, I after 8th grade, I chose basketball over football. I was actually pretty good at football, but I chose basketball. I thought basketball, I had more love for the game. And that was just off of because my dad played, and I had my couple cousins, Marcus George Hunt, godbrother. Really was just in the bloodline, to be honest.
So have you guys had like family games before? Like, have you guys ever played King of the Court, played some 2-on-2, 3-on-3 games before?
I mean, I always respect my dad. He stopped playing me probably when I was like 12, 13. I started beating him, and he couldn't handle it anymore. And, I just know he can't beat me anymore now. So, I mean, he just stopped playing me.
No doubt, man. Well, something I was like wrapping up discussing is building a legacy for yourself. I know that's something that all guys ultimately want to do. So when you are done playing this game someday, what do you want to be remembered for what you achieved both on and off the court?
I want to be remembered as a great player, great teammate, great locker room guy, and just in Indiana, I want to be known as a winner because I really didn't accomplish that at Pitt, to be honest with you. So, I mean, I want to do that at Indiana.
I know you're also a believer, so take us through your faith a little bit. How has God helped get you to the point you're at today?
I mean, I always, before every game, I usually pray. I pray for success. I just always pray for every game. It was just something that was built to me through my dad and my parents, because before they do everything, like literally everything, they pray. And so, I mean, that's been a big part of my life.
So when would you say you personally built that bond with God? Like, was there a certain time in your life that you really say you truly started trusting in God and truly formed that personal one-on-one relationship?
I mean, it was instilled in me at a young age. I always went to church every Sunday. I really can't say much about it. Yeah.
Is there one moment specifically in your life that you kind of would say that you kind of saw God work in your life the biggest, or like one moment you really had to start trusting in God?
I mean, it was actually I really can't say. I really can't say. I really can't say. I mean, it was probably the biggest thing I probably was praying for was after when I was in the transfer portal that I choose the right school, the school the second time because it was actually getting hard and it was just getting overwhelmed. So I mean, that was the time I prayed a lot and that I picked the best decision.
Now, I know you also have JUY in your bio. Take us to what that means to you on that's there.
JBY means just be you. Uh, always, always, you just got to be yourself at all times and through every situation.
Absolutely, man. My final thing for you, give Indiana fans your three biggest goals you have set for your Indiana career.
Three biggest goals. Obviously, one, win a national title. Second is Big Ten champions, and last one is last one. Probably all Big Ten player.
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations on the big move once again, man. I appreciate you taking time to come on today, and I'm excited to see what God got next for you, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, also come on, man. God bless.
God bless you too.